Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Galloping Major, and this is a Let's Play in USS Helena. Basically, when I do the reviews, I'm usually a little bit distracted by reading out my notebook at the same time. So the Let's Plays just allow us to look at playing the ship and seeing what we can do when we're not distracted. So this is a game of Capture the Base on Atlantic. Tier 6 and 7 game. On the other team we have a Mass, their own destroyer, then cruisers Indianapolis, Helena, and then the battleships, where there's a division which is a Snop and a Colorado, and then we have a Ragnarok, King George V, and Tirpitz. So battleship heavy game, but also quite a few cruisers in there too. Now I spawned on the right side and I'm moving over towards the right. But I'm not going down into that middle area. I'm going around the big island with the intention of maybe popping out on the other side of the big island and seeing what kind of position I can get into on the flank. If the enemy starts to all ball up at their base or something, then I'll probably keep pushing further north into the cluster of islands there in order to try and get a decent flank and position on them, while trying to obviously obscure myself from the enemy. Now I do have 5 spotter aircraft, but there's no point in me launching a spotter aircraft quite yet. But from the mini-map I can interpret that probably their right flank, or their left flank, is balled up into the middle. Looks like their centre's coming down into the middle, and it looks like their right is balling up into the middle as well. So it seems like they've taken the big ball of doom tactic. So what this probably means is that their destroyer is not going to be fully supported if he pushes out, because the big ball of doom is going to be too far out of reach in order to support him. And we've also seemed to have quite a good push on our team going left and right and covering the centre. Now I'm just seeing what islands I've got. I'm thinking, if I push up to the island, will I be in range? I don't think. But that smaller island there could be an opportunity, so I'm going to turn in and see if I can take advantage of that opportunity. Basically, I'm heading towards the island which is grid 7-7. However, looks like there's a battleship heading this way, and therefore it would be better for me to take advantage against that battleship by setting up behind this island here, which is grid 7.5, 7.5. Going to drop to quarter speed and open up fire. Not spotted. Check up the spotter aircraft, because it's always good to have that. Just see if we can start chipping. So we got 1 shatter on the first volley. Got 1 fire and 4 shatters on the next volley. So most of the damage, when you get a shatter with high explosive, it doesn't actually cause any damage. However, it does have the opportunity of causing fire. So that's 2 penetrating hits and 8 shatters. It's because of the turrets. And he's just left range. However, I believe we have victim number 2 coming into range. So quickly stick on a bit of throttle to move up around the island as victim number 1 moves out my detectability range if I fire. So that's quite nice actually. Now if I slap on... Yep, let's start here then. So, victim number 2. And there we go. The British have quite a large superstructure, so it's very easy to get penetrating hits on that. Just make sure we don't start reversing around the back of the island like an absolute idiot. Got 2 fires on the KG5. KG5 looks like he's trying to stop, so spotted by aircraft. Not too concerned, and also I'll get a notification if someone starts looking at me through the ingenious ability on my commander. KG5 is getting punished, and looks like he may eat a Japanese torpedo. Yeah, he is not having a good day. Another fire on him, and flood in, and I think he's going to go. So, who's the next victim? No, not quite in range. Oh, another Helena with exactly the same idea as me. Alright, I'll push up with the Shasho. I could open fire on the Helena, but I've made a move now. So this is showing almost the downsides of the big ball of doom in the middle. Because they're in the middle, we've managed to get ships up on the right flank, the left flank, and in the centre. So at the moment, they're getting shot at from 3 different angles, and you can't really angle a ship against 3 different angles. No matter what you do, you will give someone a broadside. Now I'm seeing that this island has this lovely slope heading down to here, which would be absolutely perfect for me to get my guns over. It's risky, but we're nearly into cover, so what we could do is we could even start picking on the Colorado just because he's weak, and if we can just finish him, that would be quite a nice way to reduce their team's DPM a little bit more. I'm being targeted, but it's not long till I disappear now. And in fact, I'm seeing this lovely gap here. So I'm no longer spotted. I'll back up a little bit, but that Helena right there. Now, when it comes to spotting mechanic, it's obviously from the highest armoured point on your ship, and the highest armoured point is going to be the range finding device on my bridge. So even though my rear is sticking out, the enemy Helena can't see me because my bridge is still obscured from the island. So that's just another way of how to use the spotting mechanics to your advantage. It's all about making sure that your bridge does not have line of sight to the enemy's bridge, which it doesn't. So you can kind of stick your butt out from behind an island and get away with it. Right, they've kind of moved away from this flank, so I will start sneaking up in between these islands, see if I can get a little bit more pressure on from behind them, and then that way they're almost being surrounded by 4 flanks. The Shasho is also closing in for the kill. Now I'm using there's not too much that separates the teams at the moment, although they've lost 3 battleships, which is making my life easier. The sooner all their battleships are gone, the more I could take advantage of sailing in open water, because I know that I'm not going to be in such a bad position. So there's Helena. I don't really have an island to take advantage here, so what I might do, I might just do a little bit of open water. Take a bit of a risk. There goes Helena. So now at the moment, most of the team has pushed over to their right flank. Okay, so we have the mass spotted, but that's alright. Near their nearest battleship is that Sinop. And what cruisers do they have? So they got another Indianapolis and another Helena. I got a Helena, so I'm not too concerned. Just got to make sure that I try and engage in a 1v1. Although tempting, he is disappearing into a smoke screen. It is probably going to be better for that Belfast to do the push, because the Belfast will have radar. So at the moment, they're obviously pushing away, so I'm going to push in. I'm going to try not to capture the base, but I'm going to stick my nose into it and just see what happens, because sometimes it might make them wake up a bit and come back the other way, which would probably be advantageous for our team, because at the moment the amount of DPM that we can bring to bear on their team has dropped, because me and the other Helena are a bit too far back that we can't really assist. But they're also the enemy team's made like quite a nice like defensive semicircle against our team, which is in the centre. So I'm now spotted, which means that the mass is probably come out of his smoke screen. I'm going to see what I can do, and I'm just going to do like a bit of a spread there, just to try and cover off some different potential. And he's gone. Nice. So just pushing into the base. Got to see what the Synop does. So this is why you should really play the flanks that you stay on. If you fall back into the centre, you surrender your flank. So I'm into a 1v1 versus the Synop, so I'm just going to use my propulsion mods to obviously try and dodge. Now the Synop has just taken out the Belfast, but the Synop's only got about 7,000 HP left, 5,000 HP left, so he's not going to be long for this world, and he's got a 30-second reload, so I should be able to predict any incoming shots. So most of that whiffed, and he's only got a smidge of health left. So just got to turn in, try and dodge this. There we go. So they've only got one cruiser left, which is the Helena. So the Helena's not really going to want to make any kind of engagement, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get myself in a position where I can open fire as soon as he comes into view. I suspect he'd charge back to the base and try and stop me. But this has been just a nice little show on how to play them. Sometimes it's all down to picking and choosing the right island and reading the map a lot. If you can do that, then you can survive for quite a while because you're making your engagements while not detected. Going to open fire, and I'll just stick reverse on. This time I'll go forward. Looks like he's firing AP. I guess he's got a lot of plunging fire coming in, but my acceleration mods should be doing alright. And the enemy Helena's gone. So that, it was a quiet game, I felt. It wasn't intense at any moment, but 55,000 damage, 2 kills and 104 hits on target. Came third on the team, but I think, although it wasn't a clutch game or a difficult game or anything like that, it kind of actually showed things that you should really be doing in the Helena, how to read the map when you're in a Helena, and then also I think it showcased a team doing the right play versus a team doing the wrong play. It showed the difference between securing your flanks and your centre and pushing or holding those positions on the map, like knowing when to bound up to the next patch of cover and stuff. And then that was versus a team which pulled into the centre to try and defend the centre and therefore lost their flanks. So I think that in all, that is a good game to show. Well, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you do like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe, and to all the subscribers I'd like to say thank you very much. If you have any of your own gameplays that you'd like to submit for commentary, any good games, clutch plays, even funny moments that I could stitch together, our email address is down in the description. I've been the Galloping Major, and back to the port.